Hi everybody, welcome back another technical demo around the Quarkus application. Today I'm going to showcase how Quarkus helps developers understand their Microsoft application in a graphical way during they actually develop Quarkus application. For example, they can display and enable compilation at a Quarkus runtime, including multiple extension and continuous testing result, and even Quarkus itself. You can have usable links to application API endpoint, including RESTful API or even gRPC or GraphQL console for interacting with the GraphQL API, even a performance scoreboard to your application API with some suggested optimization to improve your API performance. Okay, let's jump into the demo how it works. Here's my local Quarkus application runtime with the latest version, and I just go to dev UI as you see. So go to q/dev endpoint. You can find your dev UI. And then first of all, we gotta go to configure editor. So you can find all configuration from Quarkus runtime and log level. And there are a bunch of configuration you can find it. I actually add a custom configuration like a username, like my name's Daniel as a value. With that, I actually implemented one RESTful API to report that configuration. As you see, I just go to endpoint, hello, and you can find my name. I can change my variable on my configure editor, not rather than going to my application properties. Change my name like a Dan, and then I reload the endpoint. I can find the new result like a hello Dan in dev UI. This is one of the great feature of dev UI to manage your configuration in rich environment rather than go to application itself. Okay, so next feature of dev UI, you can find the rest is reactive. So when you go to endpoint score, you can find the implement REST endpoint, REST APIs. But here the hello REST API, we gotta just red mark the performance issue because this functionality is working, just I saw that, but still there are some performance gap you need to optimize. For example, you need to execute this application proper way based on reactive mechanism. Also, you need to return the right code. So, but functionality is still working because I accessed one of the other endpoint like a stream, and number 5 with the then it will return 5 times the data hello with my name as a reactive way. But there are something still performance issue to execute that method. Let's go to application, how it implementing. So as you see, I just use a blocking annotation, which allows this method is running as a synchronous way, not reactive way, like an imperative. So I just comment out, and also here the hello method, you can find that I actually return just text the string, but I define the return type object, which is maybe prohibit your performance. So I just fix that problem and reload that application scoreboard, and then you can find that so there are one red and one yellow, but now we got 100% performance, which means I just fixed the problem very quickly based on dev UI. So this is a really great point when you're using dev UI because a lot of developers just skip performance capability. Just try to more spend like a lot of time to focus on implement the application functionality rather than performance perspective. So WUI just aware that performance issue for developer instantly. Okay, let's go to another feature on WUI. So here is the terminal on your dev UI. You can actually start your continuous testing capability on the Quarkus. And then you can find here, oh, there are the one continuous testing error. So actual, the result and the expect result is different. As you see, expect result hi Daniel in dev UI, but actual is hello Dan in dev UI. But functionality is actually working, but the test case is failed. This is just another super important thing along with the test-driven development strategy. So working with the developer teams, this is a test-driven development procedure, really important thing. So I just fixed that problem, just changing my test code. You can actually fix your application as well. Okay, move on. Next feature, I'm gonna add a few extension from IDE tool using Quarkus tool on my IDE. So I just added OIDC, for connecting single sign-on server like a key cloud, and also I put in the GraphQL to have a more flexible retrieve data, and also Qt for presentation layer rendering. So with that Maven command line or Quarkus tool on your IDE tool, it automatically pull down necessary dependency on your Quarkus environment. So here's your runtime logs. You can find a new extension on your runtime logs, and then when you reload your dev UI, you can find more extension. So whenever you add a new extension, you can find the extension on your dev UI. So specifically, when you click on the rendering preview or Q template, which means a Quarkus template, and then put in your JSON data like a name Danny, my like another nickname, and just some rendering, and then you can find the hello Danny in Quarkus Qt. You don't need to actually go to actual endpoint HTML file or presentation layer, because the you can actually render as a preview capability on the Quarkus Qt template from your dev UI. So it reduces your development time as well. Here's a GraphQL. So GraphQL is not exactly the same capability with the REST API, but it solved the underfetch or overfetch problem of REST API. Sometimes you got a bunch of data from server, but you have to redevelop the result. So sometimes you needed to hold data, but in order to that, you need to retrieve multiple REST API. So to fix that problem, so GraphQL actually gives a more flexibility to retrieve your data. You don't need to invoke multiple times over REST API. So here's some example. I just retrieved the all theme data with some director. I put in some new field from our result. So like a title, this is a whole bunch of schema I already put in my application, like a Star Wars movie schema. And then put in the new data like a heroes, and then name or a surname. And also anything once you just put in the input parameter and JSON format, and you immediately retrieve the data. So this is another good feature from WI. So last thing is the single sign-on to authenticate and authorize your application. So once you add OIDC connector, OpenID connector extension on Quarkus, you can actually run kicklog and as well as the endpoint with the token and ID. So when you access the endpoint with the access token, you can find the right result or some error, something like that. Another good thing, you can actually access the kicklog admin, which is automatically start up on your environment using Docker engine, such as dev services. So Quarkus RAM already imported when you run this application, and then there are Quarkus application client already created also, and then there are two pre-users already created and generated for your testing. At least Bob. That's why I use the at least for single application authentication. And then as you see, this user already have some admin or user permission to access your application. Quick summary for today's demo. So you understand how Quarkus helps developer for understanding their application itself with a little bit graphical way rather than go to application itself. And then you can add multiple extension, and you can find which extension already implement or not. And then you can have continuous testing or visualization, and also kicklog with the dev services and the Qt template for rendering. There are more and more capability with the dev UI, like endless possibilities. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of the day.